All right, welcome everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into the American Mafia.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, we've got these excerpts from Mafia.pdf
Okay.
and going way back to its origins
Okay.
to see how it got to be so powerful here in
All
America.
right.
You might be surprised to learn about the link to the Roman Empire and how Prohibition really
Okay.
fueled the Mafia's rise.
Interesting.
So yeah, let's just get right into it.
Sounds good.
So it's fascinating how the Mafia's story uh, actually begins way before the term mafia even existed, right?
Yeah.
And to understand that, we got to kind of travel back in time
Okay.
to ancient Rome
All right.
and grasp this concept of clientelism.
Clientelism. Okay.
Yeah, so think of Emperor Augustus,
Okay.
the first Roman emperor.
Right.
He stayed in power by offering protection and favors to those loyal to him.
Right. I see.
So it's almost like a powerful patron, looking after his people.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But it goes deeper than just like generosity.
Okay.
It created this power structure
Mhm.
where, power was concentrated at the top.
Right.
And loyalty was enforced through those favors.
Okay.
Often backed by intimidation, too.
Oh, that was just...
So imagine like a local baker
Yeah.
needs protection from, thugs.
Right.
He goes to this powerful patron,
Right.
and the patron will, for a price or unwavering loyalty, provide that protection.
So it's almost like a protection racket.
Precisely.
Oh.
And the thing is, this system didn't just vanish with the Roman Empire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it persisted.
Okay.
Especially in southern Italy,
Okay.
where, poverty and lack of opportunity were widespread.
Right.
So picture yourself living in a region with limited resources,
Yeah.
and a weak central government security becomes even more crucial.
Yeah, absolutely.
And finding ways to get ahead to improve your life.
Right. Yeah.
It's critical. So, in a way, this system of clientelism kind of provided a framework for people to operate outside of the law,
Oh.
to kind of challenge the existing social order.
Wow. So you're saying this system, born out of necessity,
Yeah.
becomes a breeding ground for criminal activity.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
became a way to not just survive, but gain power.
Okay.
And as fate would have it, millions of Italians immigrated to America in the late 19th and early 20th centuries,
Right.
bringing this deeply ingrained system with them.
So it's almost like a blueprint for organized crime
Right.
was brought over across the Atlantic.
In a way, yeah. And these immigrants, they came to America facing prejudice,
Of course.
lack of economic opportunities,
Yeah.
so they sought out a familiar system
Yeah.
of protection and community.
Yeah. Okay.
And unfortunately, that's where the mafia stepped in.
So this system that helped some survive in Italy,
Yeah.
it laid the foundation for a criminal enterprise in America.
It's a dark irony. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
So we've got this system of clientelism
Right.
brought over from Italy.
Mm-hmm.
But what took these localized gangs
Right.
to the powerful American Mafia we know today?
Well, Prohibition in the 1920s, that was the game changer.
Okay.
The ban on alcohol created this massive demand for illegal booze,
Right.
and the mafia was perfectly positioned to supply it.
Yeah, makes sense.
They already had the networks, the muscle,
Right.
and they knew how to operate outside the law.
So they essentially became like the Amazon of bootlegging.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Bootlegging transformed them from small-time gangs into sophisticated business enterprises.
Wow.
They had to learn to manage supply chains, bribe officials,
Yeah.
even use violence strategically to eliminate competition.
Wow. So they were getting really organized.
This is where their organizational skills were truly honed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the struggle for control, right?
Mm-hmm.
New York City became a battleground for different factions within the mafia. And Mafia.pdf mentions this thing called the Castellamarese War.
Yes.
What was so significant about this conflict?
So the Castellamarese War, it was more than just a gang war.
Yeah.
It is clash of old world traditions
Okay.
and a new vision for the mafia.
Oh, interesting.
On one side, you had the mustache Petes
Okay.
clinging to the old ways of doing things.
Right.
And on the other side, you had these figures like Lucky Luciano,
Okay.
who saw the potential for a more organized corporate-style mafia.
So Luciano was like the disruptor, the innovator.
Yes.
Saw a chance to modernize the mafia.
Exactly.
Wow.
He understood that constant infighting, it was limiting their potential.
Okay.
He envisioned a more structured system where different families could cooperate and maximize their profits.
So that's where the idea for the commission comes in.
Yes.
The council to keep order among the families.
Right.
Wait, 5 families. This is starting to sound like a movie.
Well, it's true. The Castellamarese War led to the rise of the 5 families: Gambino, Bonanno, Colombo, Genovese, and Lucchese.
Wow.
And these families would dominate organized crime
Wow.
in New York and beyond for decades.
They really are like the royal families of the mafia.
In a way, yeah.
Okay, so each family had its own territory.
Yes.
Its own unique history,
Right,
its
yeah.
own cast of characters.
Absolutely.
Like the Gambinos, they were considered the most powerful, right?
For a long time, yeah.
Yeah, they had figures like Carlo Gambino,
Yes.
who even inspired Mario Puzo's The Godfather.
Yes, exactly.
So how did these families divide up the city?
Well, it was a complex web of influence.
Okay.
The Gambinos, they controlled a large part of the Brooklyn waterfront,
Okay.
while the Genovese family had deep ties to unions and the construction industry.
Yeah, interesting.
The Bonannos were strong in trucking and garment manufacturing.
Wow. So each family had its own specialty.
Yeah, you could say that.
So even with the commission, were there still like rivalries?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The mafia, despite attempts at structure, is inherently prone to violence,
Right.
betrayal, power struggles,
Right.
territorial disputes, personal vendettas,
Yeah.
often led to bloodshed.
It's a reminder that despite this attempted organization,
Yeah.
these are still individuals
Right.
driven by, greed and ambition.
Absolutely.
So New York was like the epicenter.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't forget about Chicago,
Of course not.
where Al Capone built his empire.
Yeah.
Right.
Al Capone was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he really was.
He brought a different kind of ruthlessness to the Chicago underworld.
I remember reading that he even opened soup kitchens during the Depression,
Yes.
trying to portray himself as a man of the people.
Exactly.
Wow.
He understood the power of image, and he used it to his advantage.
It's amazing how he was ruthless,
Yeah.
but also a shrewd businessman.
He was incredibly business savvy. He ran his criminal empire like a corporation. Clear hierarchies, divisions of labor,
Wow.
a focus on efficiency.
So Prohibition made bootlegging a gold mine.
Uh-huh.
Figures like Luciano and Capone transformed the mafia into these sophisticated enterprises.
Yeah.
But what happened after Prohibition ended in 1933?
That's a great question.
Did the mafia just, disappear?
The answer is a resounding no.
Okay.
The mafia was far too adaptable to simply fade away.
So they diversified.
They did. They moved into drug trafficking, labor racketeering, gambling,
Right.
and they even started infiltrating legitimate businesses.
So they went legit.
Kinda, but not really.
Yeah.
They learned to operate in the shadows,
Right.
using their ill-gotten gains to invest in businesses, corrupt officials, and exert influence over various industries.
So their tactics evolved.
They did.
But their goal remained the same. Power and profit.
Exactly.
And it's here where things get even more interesting, right?
Right.
The mafia's influence wasn't limited to the streets.
You're right.
They infiltrated the fabric of American society.
That's right. And during World War II, they even provided intelligence and helped protect American ports from sabotage.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
The government collaborated with the mafia.
It might seem counterintuitive,
It does.
but during times of war, strange alliances are formed.
Okay.
The mafia, with their expensive network of waterfront contacts, was in a unique position to help,
Right.
and the government, prioritizing national security,
Yeah.
was willing to overlook their criminal activities, at least for a while.
So the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
In a sense, yes.
Wow.
It was a pragmatic, if ethically questionable, arrangement,
Right.
and it wouldn't be the last time.
Really?
There are also allegations of their involvement in plots to assassinate Fidel Castro during the Cold War.
You're kidding? The mafia and international espionage.
It highlights the complexity of their story.
Yeah.
They were criminals, yes, but they also played a role in shaping American history,
Right.
albeit a shadowy and controversial one.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to think that an organization born out of poverty and desperation in southern Italy
Yeah.
would have such a profound impact on America.
It speaks to their adaptability, their ability to exploit opportunities, and their willingness to use any means necessary to achieve their goals.
And it makes you think about the allure of easy money.
Yeah.
the responsibility to resist corruption.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
Origins in ancient Rome,
Uh-huh.
rise in America fueled by prohibition,
Yes.
violent internal conflicts,
Right.
infiltration of businesses,
All right.
even collaborations with the government.
It's quite a story.
But what about the mafia today? Are they still a force to be reckoned with?
That's a great question, and one we'll explore further in the next part of our deep dive.
I can't wait. This has been eye-opening, and I'm sure there are more surprises in store.
Definitely.
We'll be back soon to delve deeper into the mafia's current state, their evolving tactics, and what the future might hold.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the American Mafia.
Glad to be back.
It's amazing how this organization, with roots going back centuries,
Right.
has managed to survive and thrive in modern America.
It really speaks to their adaptability and understanding of human nature. They
Right.
know how to exploit weaknesses,
Right.
whether it's a need for protection
Yeah.
or desire for quick money
Yeah.
or fear of retaliation.
Speaking of fear, I'm curious about the Code of Silence. The Omerta
Yes.
Mafia.pdf
Yeah.
mentions it as like a cornerstone of their culture.
Right.
How did this code shape the mafia's ability to evade justice for so long?
Well, omerta, it's more than just keeping your mouth shut.
Sure.
It's this deeply ingrained cultural norm
Right.
that prioritizes loyalty to the family above all else.
Above the law.
Even the law, exactly.
Wow.
So imagine a world where snitching on your fellow mobster is unthinkable,
Yeah.
punishable by death.
Right.
It creates this incredibly powerful bond of secrecy. Right.
And it protects the organization from within.
So it's like an internal security system
You could say
built on fear and loyalty.
Exactly.
That makes it so much harder for law enforcement to
Right.
penetrate the organization.
Yeah. Witnesses are intimidated.
All right.
Those who cooperate often end up, disappearing.
This code of silence is, it's fascinating,
It is.
but it also reveals, a dark side to the mafia,
Oh, absolutely.
this closed system
Right.
where loyalty is everything, but betrayal is always possible.
Lurking around the corner. Yeah.
I wonder about the psychological toll that takes on people
You're right.
trapped in that world.
It's a heavy burden to carry.
We talked earlier about the mafia's collaboration with the U.S. government during World War II.
Yes.
I'm still wrapping my head around that.
It is a strange chapter.
Why would a criminal organization help the government during a time of national crisis?
Well, from the mafia's perspective, World War II was an opportunity. Okay.
To gain favor with the government,
Right.
legitimize their operations,
So they could present themselves as patriots.
Yeah,
Fighting against a common enemy,
exactly.
even though they were protecting their own interests.
In a way, yeah.
Wow.
They saw a chance to expand their influence,
Right.
make connections,
Right.
maybe even secure immunity from prosecution.
And the government,
Right?
desperate to protect American shores,
Exactly.
was willing to overlook their crimes.
At least temporarily, yes.
It's a reminder that during war,
Yeah,
pragmatism often trumps morality.
it's true. The lines get blurred.
And the mafia's involvement didn't end with World War II,
No, it didn't.
right? There were those allegations about Fidel Castro during the Cold War.
Right, alleged involvement in plots to assassinate him.
Seriously. The mafia and international espionage?
It's a possibility.
Wow.
The world of espionage is very secretive.
Yeah.
The truth is often hard to come by.
But the fact that these allegations exist suggests the mafia's reach went beyond just New York and Chicago.
It does, yeah.
It challenges our perceptions of power and influence.
Yeah.
We think of governments, intelligence agencies
Yeah.
as the major players.
Right.
But the mafia shows us there are these other forces at work.
Operating in the shadows, yes.
And their methods were often brutal.
Absolutely.
Mafia.pdf mentions all this violence,
Mm-hmm.
assassinations, conflicts.
Right?
Why was violence so integral to the mafia?
Violence, in their world, was a tool.
A tool.
Yeah, a tool to maintain control,
Right.
eliminate rivals,
Okay.
enforce discipline, protect their interests.
I see.
A way to instill fear and ensure obedience.
Amidst all this violence and corruption,
Yeah,
there's still this strange allure to the mafia.
there is.
A fascination that's captivated popular culture for decades.
Right.
Why is that?
Well, I think part of it is the allure of the forbidden, this
Yeah.
glimpse into a hidden world of power and intrigue.
And there's that romanticized notion of the mafia as outsiders.
Yeah, challenging the establishment, living by their own code.
Yeah. And movies like The Godfather and Goodfellas
Right.
have definitely shaped our perception.
Oh, absolutely.
They've made these figures almost mythical.
Right. Characters like Don Corleone and Henry Hill,
Yeah.
they become iconic, you know?
But they're fictional portrayals.
They are, yeah, glamorized versions of reality.
We can't forget the real-world consequences.
Of course not.
The violence, the corruption.
Right.
Those are the true legacies of the mafia.
It's a cautionary tale. Power without accountability
Right.
can be very destructive.
So we've explored a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
The mafia's origins,
Mhm.
their rise to power, their tactics,
Right.
even their collaborations with the government.
Yeah. It's a long and complicated story.
But what about the mafia today?
Right?
Are they still a force to be reckoned with in the 21st century?
That's a great question, and it's one we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
I'm eager to hear more.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they've managed to persist for so long.
Yeah, it really is.
Evolving and adapting.
They've had to.
Makes you wonder what the future holds for them.
Stay tuned, because the story is far from over.
All right, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the American Mafia.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It really has.
Yeah.
We've covered so much, but I'm really curious about how the mafia is operating today.
Right.
It's a different world now than it was during Prohibition or even the Cold War.
It is, and they've had to adapt.
Yeah, it's not just about backroom deals and street muscle anymore, is it?
No, not at all.
So what are their new strategies? What kind of activities are they involved in now?
Well, think cybercrime.
Oh, wow.
Identity theft, money laundering.
Mhm.
They're using the same skills, right? Intimidation, corruption, money management,
Yeah.
but applying them to the digital world.
So instead of shaking down a local business, they might be hacking into a bank's computer system.
Precisely.
Wow.
And they're not limited by geography anymore.
Right, with the internet and everything.
Exactly. They can operate across borders.
Right.
Collaborate with criminal organizations in other countries.
So they're leveraging the globalized economy to their advantage.
They are.
Sounds like they're getting even harder to track.
It's definitely a challenge for law enforcement.
How are agencies keeping up with these new tactics?
Well, they're evolving too, using data analysis, financial tracking, international cooperation. It's like a high-stakes game of chess.
I see.
Both sides constantly adapting.
Mafia.pdf mentions this case with the Gambino family,
Yes.
using online gambling sites to launder money.
Right. It's a classic example.
It's just wild to think that this organization with, such a long history
Yeah.
is now operating in this digital underworld.
It really shows their resilience.
Yeah.
Their willingness to embrace new technologies.
They're always looking for new opportunities, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Makes you wonder what they'll come up with next.
It's a constant evolution.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
I agree.
We've gone from ancient Rome to the digital age
It's quite a story.
and learned so much about the mafia's rise, their tactics, their impact on America.
Their adaptability is truly remarkable.
It is. And it's a reminder that organized crime is a persistent threat.
It is a threat that requires vigilance, innovation, and a commitment to justice.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks.
So, as we wrap up, I think it's worth asking ourselves, what role can we play in resisting the allure of organized crime?
That's a great question.
And promoting a more just and equitable society.
It's something we should all think about.
Thanks for joining us on this fascinating exploration of the American Mafia.
It's been a pleasure.